Hey Dylan, thanks for taking my call.
Hey Dylan, big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show, love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. It's Robin.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that.
Well, hey, welcome into the DBN. I'm your host, Dylan. This is Hey Dylan. Again, my viewers, it's been a while since we've ran one of these, but you know what? It was time to fire up the engines. It's a busy time in the world. There's a lot going on. And there's only one person who I'd love to talk to with the Super Bowl coming up, with a Survivor season coming up. In the past, 6 years ago, actually, about 6 years ago, I introduced this man when he was in undergrad, and he wasn't a doctor yet. And I said that his favorite place was El Jefe, but now he's graduated even from that to new heights, to new horizons. Dr. Richie Becerra, thank you for joining the show today.
How's it going? Dylan? Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure as always.
You know what's funny is the Super Bowl is this weekend, obviously, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs, this new kind of evil empire, versus the San Francisco 49ers with this kind of all-star team minus maybe their quarterback, who is somehow the most controversial San Francisco quarterback in the last 10 years, which, who would have thought that could happen? But dude, I got to ask you about this because you grew up in Mesa. You played Mesa football. You played against some Gilbert schools. You played against Perry High, and Brock Purdy is basically from our hometown. But even people from our hometown, there is a clear divide, and I don't know if it's because of the Cardinals thing and he's on the 49ers as a rival, but what is it that you specifically don't like about Brock Purdy? Because Brock Purdy coming into this, Mr. Irrelevant, last guy picked in the draft, but he gets so much criticism, but I'm like, why? Why are we not just celebrating this kid? I don't know.
No, I get that. I get that for sure. And I actually have no problem with him as a person. Seems like a great dude. Everything I hear about the guy, he's just an awesome person. I have a problem with the amount of credit he's getting from some of these fans and the media personnel. I think he should have no place in the top 5 in MVP conversation.
But if it was MVP, not MVPs, but quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks, you wouldn't even put him top 5 quarterbacks.
No, he's not even close to top 5 quarterback. He might be top 15, and that's a stretch, I think.
Yeah, well, with the state of the year, he was top 5 in pass yards. He was top 5 in touchdowns. And yes, he had amazing targets. He had an amazing offensive line. But he also did it. I feel like there have been decent quarterbacks on great teams and they blow it. I mean, but this guy,
for sure. But also those guys, I don't think these guys never had 6 all-pro players on their offense. That's more than half the offense of his offense is all-pro players.
Yeah,
the first or second team.
Listen,
you look at the 3-game stretch where they lost. They had no Trent Williams and no Debo, and Brock Purdy did not play good those 3 games because he didn't have his 2 best weapons.
So on the other side of the football, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think it is a fair comparison to say that they are approaching the New England Patriots, approaching dynasty level.
Sure.
Of course, going to the Super Bowl so many times, having a star quarterback, having some star weapons on the team as well. Tom and Bill always had so fun weapons in different eras of wherever they won. And yeah, what do you think about the Chiefs entering that? And does this Super Bowl really just kind of just start to activate all that? You see the Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady stats about their first 6 seasons or whatever, and it's almost identical. I don't know.
It's weird because you see how much people hate the Chiefs now, and as an outside person who's not a Chiefs fan, you see how much people hate them and despise them because they keep winning. And it makes sense to me now why, as a Patriots fan, why so many people hated the Patriots growing up, just because they were always there. They were just sick of the Patriots. It makes sense. And I think
they seem to win these games that they're not supposed to win. And it is getting to the point where it's dude, why bet against them? And the Patriots blew games, and they lost Super Bowls. And honestly, maybe the most memorable Super Bowl for everyone is the Giants Patriots. that was just
Yeah.
so epic. No matter what team you follow, they still lost. So they're capable of losing, but how do you bet against them? And are you gonna bet against them?
I was thinking about that today. I was looking at some of the betting props before we hopped on, and I was just like, Mahomes is getting to that territory where, like Tom Brady, you just can't. It's almost stupid to bet against him, especially if you're going to give him points. Like, imagine giving Tom Brady points. Like, you're always going to take that.
Yeah, I always equate it to like every time Tom Brady stepped back to pass, Peyton Manning had it, Aaron Rodgers maybe had it a little bit, but you just expected something big was about to happen. And
Yeah,
and when there is 2 minutes left in the game and Tom Brady has the ball and he's down four, you go, this is a lock. It's over.
yeah,
We
way too
now
much time.
we see that with Patrick Mahomes, and like the 13 seconds was just one piece amongst a
Hmm.
huge pie of like amazing comeback wins and yeah, just performing miracles, not only dominating because they've only kind of dominated teams in the regular season. They've struggled, but
Yeah.
like they can pull miracles like nobody's business. And I don't know
Oh yeah.
how they are, and I know the Niners are a great team. I don't know how. Right now I'm seeing them at plus 113. And I just don't know how you don't take that.
Especially with how they played through the playoffs too. Like the Chiefs have won, you would say pretty easily. You never really had to doubt if they were going to win most of those games. The Niners have struggled in the two games that they've played. Should have
Yeah.
lost to Green Bay, and then they should have lost to Detroit too. So I mean,
Yeah.
momentum wise, you got to ride with the Chiefs too.
Yeah, it's insane. Why do you think the odds makers have the Niners as the favorite?
I mean, they've been favored in I think every single game that they played this year.
Yeah. But they're
So
underdogs,
you
Richie.
look at
They're
that
underdogs.
offense. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that. The fact that their Twitter account thought it was a good idea to tweet out against all odds when they literally were the odds favorite every single game. See, that's
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that just makes you not like a team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like I don't know if like which team has more pressure on them because the Niners had a better season and they might even be in this window where like, man, they can't keep all
Yeah,
these stars. But also
for
you have the
sure.
Chiefs have the public pressure of like, dude, now we're expecting you like because if the Chiefs lose this game, then it's just kind of like, oh man, they've just been a good team. They're not like a dynasty. If they win, they're a
Yeah,
dynasty. If
for
they
sure.
lose, it's just like, oh man, the Chiefs had a really good run for a couple years where they kept getting in, but they didn't get it
Yeah.
sometimes. Like they
Then you
have,
can start to put that on Mahomes. Like, is Mahomes a choker? Can he not perform at the highest level
yeah,
against the best
can he not
competition
beat
kind
a
of thing?
great team? But the thing is
Yeah.
like I can't imagine us sitting here on Monday going, dude, Brock Purdy, he beat Patrick Mahomes yesterday. Which I don't know
Yeah.
if it'll happen that way. I don't know if it'll be defense. I don't know if the Chiefs defense has looked so good. Like
They've looked
almost
awesome.
better than the Niners defense, which is
Yeah.
the defense that gets a lot of shine.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, dude, it's interesting. What do you think of the over under 47.5?
I kind of feel like over, bro. I think
Really?
these defenses are, yeah, I think the defenses are going to falter a little bit. I found a little prop bet on FanDuel. It was one rushing touchdown, one passing touchdown for both teams each half, plus 15,000. Might have to
Wow.
sprinkle a little on that. Yeah.
Wow. Wait. So one passing touchdown, one rushing touchdown each half.
From each team, each half.
Okay.
A little
Yeah, yeah.
offensive game, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think to me Pacheco is the lock. Like if and I
You
know
think
it's
so?
like it's Travis Kelsey and it's maybe Rasheed Rice or maybe it's Patrick Mahomes just like sneaking it in, trying to get it in there and running.
Hmm.
But dude, I think Pacheco is a bigger lock. I think something about CMC being like, minus 240 or minus
It's not
350.
even worth it. I saw something they were saying you're better off just betting him first half touchdown because he's like plus 140, I think, for the first half.
Mm, yeah. I
But
think
I think Ayuk's going to be a standout guy this game.
I will say, I should plug, also this week we released an episode of Biopic with Jacob. Jacob, again, thank you so much
Ooh,
for coming on. Killed it.
shout out
Great
Jacob.
episode. Great episode, Richie. And I was thinking that it's been 5 years since you did your biopic, so it's probably changed. And we
Dang. Oh, probably.
everyone might be due for a new one, and I might read
Yeah.
you back your answers, and it might not match at all. It could be a good experiment. because we do
I feel
have
like I remember some of them.
we got a little side by side we could do. Like, yeah, listen.
Ooh,
But
that'd be good. I like
Jacob,
that.
we know Jacob will probably do just anytime touchdown, at like minus 2,000. You think minus 1,700? Just a touchdown is scored. I,
Oh yeah, just
I,
one touchdown throughout
I,
the
th-
whole game.
I think he'll do that. He'll put $500 to win like $20 or something, whatever that payout is.
Hey, $20 is $20. A win's a
Yeah,
win.
that would be a fantastic investment, I guess. But that's how you get banned from FanDuel. So I mean, hey, listen. Okay, so you think the Chiefs are gonna pull it out on Sunday?
I think so. I think I want the Niners to win, but I
Right,
think
I do
Chiefs are
too.
going to.
I think I do as well. I feel like it's just kind of dumb to bet against the Chiefs, but it would be cool for the Niners to win. But then also, for the NFL, it is good to have like a team that everyone's just chasing and going after. And this
Hmm.
Niners team won't be here next year, while I think, the Chiefs will more than likely be here.
For sure.
Um, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But we have another thing I want to ask you about. You did the 72-hour fast about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. I would have
so
ended, I guess, a week yet last night.
so you probably how did you hear about this 72-hour fast? Because I saw it go viral, through different influencers or just online people doing it.
Yeah.
What was your process of discovering it and then figuring out if it was the right thing to do before jumping into it? Because that was interesting. I was like, dude, this guy's doing it Monday to Wednesday, not easy. But yeah, how
Yeah.
did you discover it and figure
Sunday
out
to Sunday to Wednesday.
Sunday to Wednesday? Jeez.
Yeah. So I heard because I listened to pretty much every Bustin' with the Boys episode, and they had Dana White on, and Dana White was talking about when he did it, and he got it from Gary Brecka. So I did a little bit more research on it, kind of looked up to see what some of the effects were, what it's supposed to do, and it looked like something that I feel like I could do that would be a little bit physically tough, but probably more mentally tough, which I was kind of wanting to do something to start the year off. Um, just seeing what I can push myself to mentally, seeing how much I can push myself and see can I get through this like 72 hours without eating any food, consuming any calories, anything like that. So I think that was kind of my main drive behind it was more mentally than physically.
Yeah. So then how did it turn out, would you say? Like, was that a like how did you how well I guess yeah, take me through it. Like, when were the times where you felt most hungry? When were the times you were like, this is dumb, I don't want to do this anymore? And
Yeah.
how was it fighting through
So
that?
I think I got like pretty lucky. So I have like I'm on my at work on Monday and Wednesday for 12, pretty much 12 straight hours. So like I'm pretty busy throughout the day. So like going that long without food honestly wasn't too hard because I was busy most of the time. I think if I had like a desk job or I worked from home, I think it would be a lot more difficult. I went like Sunday at 6:30 was my last meal, and then I didn't eat again until Wednesday at 6:30 at night. So that was the
Jeez.
72 hours I did. It helped, I think, because the timing when I did the first like 10 hours or whatever I was sleeping, worked my long day Monday, got through pretty easily, no huge hungers or anything. Went to sleep, woke up Tuesday, was like, okay, I'm not doing too awful because I slept like another like 9 hours Tuesday because I wasn't waking up to go to the gym. So I had a lot more time to sleep, which I think helps too.
Yeah.
Tuesday was like I think it was hours like 40 to 48. I was like, oh dang, I'm kind of hungry here.
Yeah.
And those like the first part of that, I was at home. Like I got off work at noon, came back home. I was like, dang, there's food here. Like I'm hungry. So I went to the sauna, sat in the sauna for like 15 minutes, and then got home, rinsed off, and got up the cold tub. And that actually was pretty good at like suppressing the appetite. So that helped a good amount as well.
Yeah.
And then woke up Wednesday morning, and I guess that was like 60 something hours. And honestly, like Wednesday was easy. I had so much energy on Wednesday. Like
Well,
I honestly think I could have gone another like 12 to 20 hours too.
jeez, interesting.
Yeah.
And then you lost how much weight in the
I lost like 11 pounds and I think I still have like 8 pounds of that off. So like, 3 pounds back, but I was expecting some back just from
right,
like
right,
not
right.
eating at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
And so I think it's something I'm going to start doing. I'm going to do a 72 hour, I think 2 times a year, probably the beginning of the year and then midway through. And then I'm going to start incorporating like Sunday night to Monday night, just doing a 24-hour fast every week.
Oh wow. What do you
Yeah.
feel? So do you feel post it like, because it's, I mean, like people do like the hard 75 and they do the whole 30
Hmm.
and all these kind of things. Dry January is another good example, but like,
Yeah.
how is it actually? Because then February comes around, then it's Super Bowl and you have a drink, and then your body kind of just gets back
Hmm.
to normal.
For
Will it?
sure.
Will it just be that process that you're reset right now, and then in 6 months, at the end of summer, maybe you're like, oh, time to, or maybe beginning. I don't even know when you do it, but
I feel like I'd probably do it midway through summer. And then I think doing the 24-hour on a weekly basis will kind of help keep me in that throughout the year so that it's not, oh, like maybe a couple weeks I took off. But if I do it every week, I think it'll make it a lot easier as well to maintain doing the 72 twice a year.
dang. And then, have you ever done intermittent fasting before? Like,
Yeah, I've done intermittent
extended.
before. I did that like when I was in PT school a good amount. I started doing like this. I did started when I first did it the 16 hours, and I was working out like still pretty intensely, and I was getting real lightheaded. So I talked with an endocrinologist, and she told me that if you're working out that intensely, you really only need to do probably closer to 12 hours. So I switched to that, and that helped a lot more. So I would work out in the morning, have my protein shake at like 6:30 or whatever. I'll come home from work 6:30 and then eat right away and then just don't eat again. So it's right about 12 hours there.
Yeah.
And so I do that pretty much on a daily basis anyway. So
Yeah. Dang.
the 12-hour really isn't super hard, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Dang, that's interesting. And what did you say the benefits were? Like it was just,
Yeah, it's one of the main reasons is it kills off like dead cells and helps for healthy new cells to grow and regenerate. And a lot of that helps with like stopping chronic disease. So they did a study on people who just did the 24-hour, and I think they only did once a month, and they had, I think it was 30% less chance of chronic disease than those who didn't do the fast.
hmm,
And so it helps to not like for longer chronic disease like cancer, Alzheimer's, those kind of things. That's what they were looking at.
hmm,
Those, it helps lower blood pressure, which is always good. Energy was a good one, and like I felt the effects of that too. So I
yeah,
know at least from experience that was one that worked.
right. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, so were you feeling gassy at all, or like were you like
No, like
going
it
to the
was weird.
bathroom, or was it? I mean, would you
I
just
mean,
drink water? Like that's it.
yeah. So water and electrolytes.
Okay.
The first day you do like bone broth for the first for like 8 ounces at lunch, 8 ounces is dinner, but it only equates to like 60 total calories. So it's not going to put you over into ketosis or out of ketosis or anything. But yeah, I mean, the second and third day I didn't have any like needs to go to the bathroom really. So other than number
Yeah.
one, so it was a little weird.
Yeah, that's fascinating stuff. Like, and it's probably, is it not for everybody, or is it something that like everybody
I mean,
probably could benefit from?
I think most people probably could benefit from it. And maybe if you don't feel like starting off at the 72, maybe do a 24-hour and see how that goes for you before you commit to the 72.
Yeah.
One piece of advice, something that I read online, and I kind of did it too, is like leading up to it, don't eat like 3 meals a day. Try to eat two or
Hmm.
one if you can, just to kind of get your body ready for it. And I did that too. That probably helped as well.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that's cool, dude. And we're last question, I guess. Did you ever forget that you were doing it and you were like, oh shoot, there's a peanut, or like, oh, like let me open this bag of chips.
No, but funny story. I think it was the second night. I think I had a dream that like I ate something and I got all like pissed off at myself, and then I woke up and I was like, "Oh, thank the Lord, that was just a dream." So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
mean, I
so
never
funny.
like came close to like opening something or eating something, so that was good.
Dude, and that's kind of an interesting segue. You talking about like not eating and dreaming of food is that feels very like Survivor. And Survivor, like I've actually binged the Survivor podcast. It's fantastic. If you've never listened to it, dude, it really
No,
is
I haven't.
so good. Like, and Jeff like produces
Okay.
it so well. He has a great staff on there. And dude, he's talking about all the things that you sit and watch the show and go, man, I wonder how they thought of that. Or like I wonder how like they are like the camera guys aren't getting in the way. Or like I wonder like how they
Mm,
like they must watch them all day, but we're only seeing 2 minutes of their entire day. How did they pick the 2 minutes
Yeah.
or the challenges, all that
Oh, that's
stuff?
kind of
It's
cool.
Dude, it is fantastic. It starts with Carolyn's season. And basically they go episode by episode. They talk about the show and they talk about like something involving the show, whether it's like, oh, like how we built that challenge or how we come up with the music of Survivor. It's fantastic. But
Okay.
we got like I don't know, it makes me think about new and old Survivor because right now I'm watching Survivor 20, which is heroes versus villains. I think I know who
Oh.
wins, and I don't remember. I remember watching this one as a kid, but
Hmm.
Heroes and Villains is considered one of the best seasons, and I'm seeing that. I'm only through 3 seasons right now.
Definitely.
I I am seeing that. I'm feeling that, and I wonder how, because I still love Survivor, but even the difference of 39 days to 26 days, what that does to
Hmm.
them, and when they're sitting there on the last episode, how skinny they look here, how they're barely
Oh
at the
yeah.
merge and they're in day 26 or whatever. And you're like, holy cow,
Hmm.
these people like went through it. What did you, before we like look into the next season, how do you feel about where Survivor's at right now? Because like last couple years has been up and down.
I've been rewatching a couple seasons too. I mean, it just even ones that like I know who wins, I still like to kind of see how they got there because I mean you don't remember all that obviously.
Right.
And I mean the first thing I realized off the bat, I think I restarted on like 16 or 15 or something. And the first thing I saw right away was like these people have like cuts and bug
Yeah.
bites and scrapes, and you just don't see that anymore.
Dude,
And I
yeah.
don't know if they're like doing a better job of getting them protection or whatever they need, but it's not like it doesn't seem like now like they're surviving as much
Yeah.
as like they had to in those first couple seasons.
Yeah, I think a few years ago they figured out that Fiji was going to be the one island because we see the same island, the same spots, the same
Yeah,
like when they go on those destination challenges, it's the same spots because they found their space and they go to the same time every year. They're probably not in rain season ever again.
yeah.
Because like that's what
Oh, I
the
mean,
old
I
seasons
watched
have
a
rain, dude. Like those
yeah.
people were getting hypothermia. Like Rob passed
Hmm.
out and like because he was
Bro, toes were
dehydrated.
shriveled up and
Yes, and
cut
you like,
open.
yeah, you could feel they would be like, dude, I haven't been dry in like hours, and you're like, dude, I feel that when I'm watching it, and that's a thing that like kind of separates, like that's what made Survivor different than like, yeah, like a challenge or whatnot, like a where it's
Hmm.
just like strictly strategy. It's like no, them surviving and going crazy is what made it. Like when that
For
kid
sure.
Brandon gave his immunity idol to coach on day like 33
Oh,
and it was like the most bonehead move of Survivor history, but like it made sense because they had gone crazy, dude. They like break down
hmm.
crying, probably that like they'd never done before in front of their family members after not seeing them. And I don't know, there's an
Yeah.
interesting correlation of like being starved is good for you and like makes for interesting, I don't know,
Hmm.
but
That and then I think another thing that I miss out on is like the physical challenges. We don't get to see any more some
dude,
dude that's just 6'2", 240, just throwing a guy who's 150 pounds across a muddy like pipe balance beam or something. Like we just don't
yeah.
see those ones anymore. And those were my favorite ones to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there was one where yeah, they were holding like the pillow and they you had to shove someone
Hmm.
off into the
Oh,
mud.
James, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
dude, James is like a Greek god out there. But he's
great. Oh,
but he was also yeah, just a jerk. That was a funny, but that was just a great
that
scene.
one. And then I loved that one. And then my other favorite one that they used to do was where they had to like dig the sandbag up and then get it
Oh
back to their
yeah, yeah.
bag.
Yeah, dude, the
And I'll never
days.
forget my girl Sari. Just I forget who she tackled, but she clotheslined him like a linebacker. And oh,
She
those are
just
the kind of
got
things you love to see, bro.
she just got blindsided where I'm at in Heroes vs. Villains, which is early on. It's not
Oh
too
yeah,
much of a spoiler, but
she goes out early in that one. That's her
yeah,
first. That's her only early exit though.
yeah, that was a good idol play. But yeah, dude. So the new season, season 46, which is just crazy. 46, 24th year. And yeah, dude, this like it's funny, like it felt like that's how they teased it, but that this is going to be a very interesting season. And you
Hmm.
can kind of see that with the people here. My buddy calculated that there are like 9 unique names that he would say are not
Oh
common.
yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, looking at them, dude, I'm afraid to pronounce some of them. But we do have someone looks like from Michigan. We got someone from Manchester by the Sea, Massachusetts. Shout out.
Okay.
Charlie
Okay.
Davis. That's the most vanilla name there is. He's 26. He's a law student. These
Oh,
lawyers, man, these lawyers have been good lately.
a lot of lawyers too.
A lot of lawyers. That last season, there was like 4 or 5 of them.
Hmm.
Liz Wilcox. This is my winner. I'm calling it right now. Season 46. She is from Michigan. She's a marketing strategist. I like that.
Ooh. Okay.
Um, kind of seems, I'm just going off of what I'm seeing here. I think she's gonna make it to the end. There's the Las Vegas slot machine salesman, David Jansen.
He might be a hometown hero for the GoPro crew.
He
Might have
might
to root for
be.
him just for.
Dude, he's got the one sleeve arm tattoo.
Mm,
If he wins, maybe get 2 sleeves. Maybe he
maybe.
spends some of his million on another sleeve. Um,
I think one of the girls had like a leg sleeve too.
yeah, Hunter
I
McKnight,
forget what her name was, but
Mariah
ooh,
Gaynor could be interesting. Q, yeah, Q Burdett. Like I don't, you know, if your name is Q, real estate agent from Memphis, Tennessee. That's fascinating. But I do think it's good. Like we are getting people that like, yeah, you just kind of maybe wouldn't know otherwise unless
for
it was through
sure.
Survivor. That's
Yeah,
the interesting thing about getting people from all over is you're like, yeah, I don't think I would have ever known you know, Tiffany from New
soda.
Jersey. Come on, she's an artist. She's 33. Wow. I think I named one of the winners here though today. I think we'll be able to play this back.
Yeah,
And I read some of them off. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for it to be back.
same. Soon. We're almost there.
Yeah, dude, with football ending, it's it's Survivor we need, and then we'll get into basketball. We get into a little college
Oh,
basketball in
soon.
March. We get a little golf, a little Masters in
Hmm.
April, and then it's the NBA playoffs. And Richie, you're a Oklahoma City Thunder fan, famously.
Yep. Oh
How do
yeah.
you, I mean, Gordon Hayward, big trade. It looks like Thunder making like how do you feel about that move? Like, because they have famously only just kept draft picks the last couple of years. How do you
Yeah.
feel about them picking up kind of a vet now? It's weird calling Gordon Hayward a vet, but he's a
Yeah.
seasoned player.
It is weird for sure. But I mean, I think he's exactly what they needed. And they didn't have to give up any picks to get him too, which is kind of what's nice. They gave up two guys who don't play and then one guy who gets like maybe 7, 8 minutes a game, depending on the situation. I think he'll be good at come playoff time because he's going to have that vet presence. He's going to be able to tell them what to do, what not to do. I think he'll be good at keeping people calm. He can sit in that corner. He can still hit those 3 pointers. Still, I feel like he can. I feel like he can give us a little bit more size down low.
Yeah.
Give us a true, almost like power forward kind, which we don't necessarily have. So I think that's going to
Maybe
help a
like a
lot too.
Nick Collison energy, or he could never.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he'll take the Chargers and put his body on the line like Collison did, but that's what Jay Will's for.
Cole Aldridge was another big that the
Mitch
Oklahoma
McGarry.
City. Yeah, dude, you got some Kansas big guys, dude.
I think they're still going to look for another big man on the buyout market. At least I'm assuming so because they need to fill the roster. So
Yeah.
there's a couple guys that maybe they could go after that
How do you
got either waived or will get waived. So
so with like the rest of the season, how do you see it playing out? Because I mean, we're in February and guys are getting hurt and we're gonna have yeah, definitely a shakeup in the standings. Some teams will get ice cold. You haven't heard about the
for
Sacramento
sure.
Kings as much as we did last year, even though they're 29, 21, they're a play-in team. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, how do you see it playing out in the West? OKC with the number one spot currently on February 8th, 2024, Kobe
I
Day.
mean, yeah, I think the Timberwolves are playing right now, so they could win and go above them. They could lose and drop even more. So
Correct, correct.
that those top four, I think, will be the top four in the West. I just don't know what like seed everybody will be. The only thing that I feel like helps the Thunder is how young they are. That come playoff time, those little injuries aren't going to hinder them as much as they would some of these other teams. But then at the same time, some of those guys have zero playoff experience. So It's kind of they have one good, one bad kind of thing going for them.
Yeah.
I
And
think
I mean,
ideally, I would love to see them and the Clippers in a playoff series at some point,
I
just because
mean,
those are probably the two teams I'm rooting for the most in the West.
yeah, and I'm not an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and I wouldn't be in any context. But I will acknowledge that I miss seeing Thunder playoff games. Like that was one,
Oh
like
yeah,
there are not many basketball arenas that you can feel, but like even
dude.
when Steph Curry hit that huge deep three to either win the game or go to overtime, that crazy finish
Hmm.
when the teams were both at their best, like those games, I don't that was a regular season game. But like to see
Yeah.
that arena get electric is something that it would I think I don't know that helps them even though they're a young team that home court advantage is so real.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I don't even
I'm
think
sure you've
Denver
seen the
I don't even
clip
think you
too.
feel Denver. Like Denver is
No.
you don't even feel that place.
Yeah. I'm
But
sure you've seen the clip, but I think the loudest it ever got was when they were playing the Lakers. I think it was like the series was tied 2-2. They're in Oklahoma City, and Russ steals the ball. They like grab him. He turns around, throws it up from like the free throw line, and it hops in for like a 3 point play. And that place erupted, bro. I don't think I ever heard a stadium so loud just from the TV. Oh, I'm actually gonna hopefully try to get out there for like one of their first round playoff games too.
yeah, bro, and if they could win
Even if
one
I
for
just like go by myself, I'm gonna go. So
they could win one for Toby Keith, dude. That would be the
got to, bro.
you
R.I.P.
got to. Yeah, dude, the Suns, I don't get it, man. I don't I feel like an old man when, we're talking about Miles Bridges and we're talking about even with the fact that we got Royce O'Neal is dude, I still really am like, can we get a point guard? Because like
Dude, what are they
but they
doing?
really are committed to like we that's not what we're doing. Like we're not going to
Yeah,
be a point guard team. And the thing is it like probably the fourth quarter lineup has Durant at the five and then it's just a bunch of wings, whichever wings have played the best, whether it's Beal or Gordon or Grayson
hmm
Allen or even Okogie, like which would be a liability, but like but that is who we have, and now Royce O'Neal is in there too. I was a lover of Chris Paul, and Chris Paul probably is too old now. I mean, he's proven that on the Warriors being
yeah.
out, but I would love a guy like Chris Paul right now. I don't know what that
hmm
looks like. I don't, but it definitely seems like that's not what the Suns are gonna do, and they might get someone else in the buyout market or something. But
If the Hornets buy out Trey Mann, the Suns should go after him
yeah, but see,
because
that's
he's
just
nice.
all this is
He's not
just
gonna.
it's like these are like C
Yeah,
plus wings that could be good one night and could be bad, like awful the next night. Where you're like, dude, who ever let you touch a basketball? Like,
and that's what I hate when they do this stuff. Because I
yeah,
mean, the Suns are my second favorite team, but it's like they just make these moves or don't make the moves that they need to make, and it's like, what are you guys doing?
yeah.
New ownership, we thought it was going to change, and I mean, not a whole lot has changed so
Well,
far.
yeah. I mean, we're pushing the chips in, and like, I'm not here for the Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson hate ever either. But I mean, it would be cool to have kept these guys that we've drafted. But I mean, it's hard because Kevin Durant, like
yeah,
we're
you
getting
can't.
one of the greatest
Yeah.
players of all time, not quite out of his prime yet. And I get it, but this also happened with Shaq, as we got Shaq when he had just left Miami.
Mm.
And it's like, dude, we got him maybe one team too late. And I'm like, I hope we don't.
He just
I
didn't. He
hope
didn't fit with
that.
that system
And
either.
Shaq broke up the great core that was there too
Hmm.
because of salaries and whatnot. And if Kevin Durant ends up being that, that would also be a bummer. And then it would be the end. And then we'd
That
have
is
to start
true.
over again. Booker would want more
Because
money
he could
elsewhere.
leave too after this year, can't he?
Yeah,
Is he a free agent?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's this year. Oh, wait, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
Mhm.
Which I mean, I
So
don't
I
put it
mean,
past him.
if the Suns have a first round exit, I think he's gone for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to
Hey, maybe
say.
return back home, back to OKC.
I think you're gonna say Washington, D.C. Because that could also work.
I could see
Um,
him doing something though, and like going to like the Knicks though.
the Knicks, dude, it kind of I was talking to someone at work about it today, but it like pains me that Jalen Brunson thing's working out there, like that
Yeah,
he's doing really
it
well.
is now, but I feel like they are eerily similar to the Sixers, where they're just
Yeah.
going to choke in the playoffs.
Yeah, the East is so
Julius Randle
unpredictable.
is one of the worst playoff performers I've ever seen.
If you told me even this year with the team that has not made changes, that the Miami Heat somehow snuck their way through the playoffs again, I wouldn't be shocked. They've done it too many times now with
Yeah,
Jimmy
that's
Butler
true.
and like dude, the team is still different. Like we only have Devin Booker. Like when I was watching the Bucks Suns game, I was like, dude, Devin Booker's the only one that was on our team
That's
for
crazy, bro.
that we got bounced by the because we blew everything up. We had a championship team, we blew it up, but we're still here. So
That's wild.
it's an insane thing, and um, it'll be cool to see that play out because I like that even in
Mhm.
January we got like some 60-point games, 70-point games from guys because
Bro, that
now
stretch was crazy.
now we're starting to see these guys play and basketball then gets as good as it can be. Like the first few months really are such a slog, but now it's like
For sure. And guys are sitting out, they're resting. So,
yeah. Yeah, then we'll get March Madness soon. We'll do Go Brook Madness. Maybe we'll do a live draft on the DBN. Like,
oh, that'd be a good
you
idea. I
know,
like that.
never like get the Zoom room open and track it all down. All right, Richie, thanks so much for coming on, dude. It's been
Hey,
a good
thanks for
one.
having me, man. That was a
Uh,
great one.
yeah, dude, it's a good one. We'll have this out for the people for so you're taking Chiefs money line. You like the over or the under?
I think I'm gonna go over. I
Over
think it's
40
nice just to root for. I think it's always fun to root for points too. So
over of 47 and a half. You're taking the Chiefs money line at plus whatever it is right now, 115,
yeah,
121 something. Um, and what do you think happens with Taylor
Reba
Swift?
McIntyre under.
What do you think Taylor
I
Swift?
mean,
What happens to
I don't
Taylor
even know what
Swift?
to think about that, bro. What do you mean? What happens to her?
Like she's just gonna
The
be
Chiefs
out there.
lose and they
Will
just
she be on? Will she be on the podium, bro? If she gets on the
and oh, for
podium,
sure, she's for sure gonna
dude.
be down there by
Oh
then.
my gosh, if she gets on the
I think she'll
podium,
hold. I think she'll hold the Lombardi, bro,
no, she will. Dude, there will be a photo of her kissing the Lombardi. There's
for
no doubt.
sure.
There's no doubt. I can see the headline. I
That
can
might
see
that might
it.
be the Instagram picture that breaks the record, bro,
Bray beats the
of
egg.
that egg.
All right, Richie. Thanks again. Everyone give him a follow or whatever.
Yes,
Be sure to
sir.
like and subscribe. And
Love you guys.
if you're listening on iTunes, go and write a review. If you're listening on Spotify, go write a review too. That's clutch as well. And yeah. And go listen to Jacob's episode. It's fantastic. And a surprise ending, I'll say. Literally a
Oh,
surprise ending. I can literally tease that. It's so real. It's crazy.
oh, I love that.
All right. Thanks again, Richie.